It's been more than a week, and the Crimson Desert hype is slowly subsiding. Wait, that's too big of a word for the channel. It's been a week, and the Crimson Desert hype is slowly going down. And with it, IGN has been absolutely obliterated for being, yet again, hack journalists. And my favorite part of this saga that we went through is the fact that every single content creator that complained about Crimson Desert being too hard, oh, the controls are too hard, the braziers, how do they work? All of these people are the ones that I typically refer to as, if they did not get lucky on YouTube, that they would be the ones messing up your McDonald's drive-thru order on a normal Tuesday. And it seems like we're onto something, boys. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like we're onto something here.
Well, everyone, it has been almost a week as of the time I'm recording this video since the launch of Crimson Desert, and I figured it was about as good a time as any to do a bit of a pulse check, talk about the launch, the aftermath, and everything that happened in the last week with the game. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Crimson Desert. When I reviewed it, I said as much, but I stressed that this was going to be a game that some people would love and other people
Yes, as pretty much honestly almost everything in life. Some people are gonna like something, some aren't. Now, the grand point of this is the fact that game journalists did not enjoy, in fact, Crimson Desert. Oh boy, they did not enjoy Crimson Desert. Not enough yellow paint. I finished the puzzle, but I don't know if I did it right. You finished the puzzle. What does it matter if you didn't do it right? Do you think you're finishing these puzzles on accident by not doing them right? Like, what kind of level of stupidity are we talking about here, honestly, at this point? It has been, indeed, what you may refer to as an absolutely wild ride.
would hate. I also stressed that there was a lot of clunk with the game, some bugs, some eccentricities, let's say. But I stressed in the video that this was something I wouldn't be surprised if they had patched within a week, because this team works so ridiculously quickly. And since launch,
well, they're Korean, and if they don't, they're gonna lose their jobs, so I also expected that.
They have done a number of updates to the game. One major one that hit just a couple of days ago, which changed like the control scheme, patched in a bunch of new fast travel locations. And as you can see, Cammy here collected all of the major patch notes and mentioned that they reduced health and damage of certain bosses to make them more approachable, let's just say, because some of them were rough. They added a storage chest to the camp so you can now keep your goods.
Yeah, a lot of bosses are intended to be filters for people in this game, but some bosses did kind of just do too much damage. Now, granted, the fact that the boss will do one thing 10 times in a row at the start of the fight, and then on the 11th he's suddenly going to decide to do another thing, that's still in the game.
In there, increased healing from food, trees can be cut down with standard attacks. The vision like helmet that you put on to relive memories and stuff now automatically equips itself. Previously, it would prompt you with like the start button in the bottom right to put it on after you scanned a memory basically, but some people didn't see that and would manually put the helmet on in the settings, so now they just automatically put it on for.
Yeah, to be honest, there's like no reason for this to not been the case in the first case, okay? If you're trying to see a vision of something, obviously you want to do it. So why add 3 layers of pressing buttons? There's a lot of stuff like this that should and could be improved, and it's probably gonna get improved at this point.
For you, so there's no excuse for missing it. You know, trying to make it just streamlined. The horse will approach players, increase responsiveness of the jump, increased UI menu responsiveness, and like cooldowns on switching tabs quickly, stuff like that. Reduced difficulty of arm wrestling and archery minigame, improved keyboard and mouse controls, and they are going to be overhauling controller controls at some point in the near future.
Yeah, which is going to be big for the console players. And you know what I'm most excited about? Is it going to be the next Monday? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. And I wonder if Crimson Desert is going to get a new player peak on the weekends. It seems like that's not happening. But, you know, there's 1% chance that it could. And I'm excited for that. And that would be pretty cool.
Future. There's even one thing they tweaked, which I just want to point out because it's one of those things you take for granted until you don't have it. all through the review process, there was no like exit game button. I'm not joking. If you wanted to quit the game, you would have to go to title screen and then hold down B or escape and then close the game from there. Now you can see this was previously just a blank rectangle in the menu. Now it's been replaced and there's an actual.
I absolutely, by the way, hate when games do this thing where you can't just... Like, why do they do it? If people want to exit the game, it just pisses them off if they can't just instantaneously exit the game. Do some developers actually legitimately believe that if you hide the exit button or make it, you know, need to be clicked 5 times for it to activate, that people are not gonna quit the game? I'm sorry, is that a legitimate thing?
Exit button there, which is a very nice thing to have. And to be clear, a lot of these overhauls and improvements that they've made were in the works before reviews went up, before launch. It's just that they landed, you know, a couple of days after launch. So people are like, wow, they did that in 2 days. It took them like a week. Not that that's not crazy impressive, but still, it's based on the feedback they're getting. They are very, very quickly working their butts off to get stuff done. And it makes a difference. You can really tell and appreciate it. One of the other things that's become readily apparent is that this is very much a game, as predicted, that takes a bit to get into. The onboarding is pretty rough, honestly, and it takes a number
I don't know about that one.
Of hours for you to really get your feet under you. And this is one of those things where it's totally fair if you play a game like Crimson Desert and it just doesn't click with you, you don't get it, you're not having fun within 3 to 4 hours. I get it. Like, yeah, if you're not having fun, it's that old like acquired taste problem where people tell you, hey, if you keep trying this, eventually you'll love it. Like, you know, really good whiskeys or caviar. They're like, if you engage with it, eventually you'll love it. And it's like, I get.
Ah, yes. Tell us more about how you were born into a rich family and you never had to struggle about anything. And the fact that you're doing YouTube is just a thing that you felt like because you have 2 trust funds ready and waiting for you. Nice.
That. But I really like McDonald's right now. You know, like I don't feel the need to acquire a taste at this point. I'm good with where I'm at. And I think that that's a totally valid and...
By the way, all of those things are not an acquired taste. You either like them or you don't. None of those things are an acquired taste. I guess whiskey technically can be, but also not really an acquired taste.
Fair perspective to have, but I will say when Crimson Desert clicks with you, it clicks all across social media. And I'm sure even in the comment section of this video, you're going to see people that are praising it and saying that they can't put it down. There's videos going viral of people figuring out new stuff, like how to get cat armor in the game and like where to go to
Beautiful.
Get that. There's all sorts of different ones you can get. You can get like a bulldog puppy and put like actual animal armor on him as he follows you throughout the world, which is awesome. There's so much to this game.
I've been using that in my thumbnails.
And it's one of those games that really rewards you for taking your time, for exploring and finding all of these little bitty things in every nook and cranny. And like even now, I'm still learning stuff about the game that I didn't know before, such as the fact that, as Blaine points out, you can apparently ride cows as well. It's not just dragon mounts. You can ride a cow too, because why not?
You can also ride a tiger.
Nick Tech also clipped this one where you can find like a pirate ship in the game. And while you can't sail it yet, I don't know, maybe a future expansion or something, there are items to be found within them, like a unique pirate hat that has all sorts of unique abilities tied to it as well. Like apparently the hat itself kind of puts off a glow when you're near treasure, which is just kind of a fun.
Oh, that's pretty good. Also, can we get people who actually play this game with not the default character, please? Thank you.
Little touch. Makes sense. Pirate, treasure, yeah, checks out. But there's also other things that we're learning about the game through players testing. Like, as you can see in this shot right here, I just...
Now, granted, most people are going to play Cliff, obviously, but, you know, still, would be nice if someone, if we ever saw people... Have you seen a player play anything but Cliff? I haven't. I definitely have not.
Showed you, there's like puddles. When the game has like a rainstorm come through and it creates a puddle on the ground, which already is crazy, it will apparently dry faster in the sunny areas versus the areas with a lot of shade. Somehow the game is tracking how much shade is on a certain area, and that affects how quickly the water puddle clears up and dries back to normal. which is like, I don't.
Somehow, I mean, I get he's talking about the game, but he's making it sound like he just figured it out in real life, which is funny.
Like, it's. I'm speechless. Like, that's crazy. And seeing some of the other armor sets and stuff that people are finding that make you look like you're straight out of Lord of the Rings, it's like really engaging and gets you excited to be like, I wonder where that is. And it's not a $20 microtransaction. Okay. Now, for sake of spoilers,
Yet, but there's gonna be.
I loaded into an earlier game save just because I didn't want to potentially spoil, because I'm currently in an area that Digital Foundry mentioned with some robotic, let's say, bugs of a sort. And so if you don't want to see that until you reach that point, that's totally fair. I won't spoil it for you. This is just kind of generic forest area, but I will say there is so much to see and find in the game. It is.
Wait, that's bamboo, not generic forest area.
Outrageous. Like, it's actually ridiculous. And it's made me think of something that I think is really coming to a head in 2026, more so than I expected, and that is this like gap between certain types of players, but also just like the broader games media. So like, don't let a place.
You know what no one ever talks about Crimson Desert? It's just how smooth they made the basic stuff. So like for example, look at this. Look at the
like gap between certain types of players, but also just like the broader game.
Like the foot is placed on every surface. And yes, there are games that are gonna bend the knee a little bit when, you know, one foot is there and then, but it's not the same. Crimson Desert just does it in such a more natural, believable way. It's crazy.
It's media. So like, don't let a place like IGN convince you that I wish there was more to find in its beautiful locations. Like, you can say a lot about Crimson Desert.
Wow. I mean, IGN once again literally proving that they are the lowest of the low. Congratulations, IGN. You made yourself probably the title of this video once again.
Criticizing it for like a lack of content is crazy work. Like, that's wild. Now, to their credit, in the actual article, there's a bit more nuance, but it basically boils down to...
Oh, there's no nuance. It was just clickbait and everyone knows it. And IGN's article probably was AI-made garbage anyway.
To the story is not the focus. When you go out and explore, you'll have more fun, which I feel like anybody could have told you. And I feel like that was already communicated by everybody who experienced the game, but you know what, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised anymore. But I think that,
I mean, you could attach the hand to the body, or you could attach the hand to the correct place.
I don't know, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised anymore. But I think that type of gap has opened between a lot of players, where like, if you go into a game with the wrong expectations, you may not have that good of a time. Like, I think a game like this is the most fun. There we go. When you are just kind of exploring openly, this is spooky, openly and freely, and you're not really trying that hard to stick to a specific quest line or to stick to a very particular set of quest objectives. It's just not that kind of game. But when people go into it expecting it to be like that, they end up frustrated. They end up feeling like, I don't know what to do. And that's what the first like 7 to 8 hours of the game for a lot of people feels like, where they just don't really know, for lack of a better term, how.
Listen, if you're that clueless for 7 or 8 hours in this game, you probably should not play it. I'm gonna be real. You should probably not play it, okay? The acclimatization rate for... big word. The get used to the controls time spent in this game should be roughly like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And after that, you should be off to the races like a normal human being. If you take 7 or 8 hours to get used to anything here, it's not the game for you, probably. But, okay, there are exceptions, obviously, here. A lot of them, in fact. The fact that there's maybe one thing that you can't wrap your head around, that happens to a lot of people. It's pretty normal. But if you're really struggling with this game 7 hours in, my question is, why? It's clearly not for you for whichever reason. I'm not even calling you stupid in this case. Maybe the game's literally just not actually for you. It happens. But man, that is an insane thing to say. That's something IGN would say.
How to play it, you know? And that's true of every game. Some games, it takes you a while to settle into them. Like Red Dead 2, one of my favorite games of all time. It's pretty slow in the
Never played it. Don't know. I just know it looks good.
start. I mean, it's like a meme that the snowy sections are really dry and it takes a little while for the game to get going. And that's very much true. But once you get past that, once it clicks and you start living the cowboy fantasy, dude, there's just nothing else like it. It's awesome. But I think that is what
that is a good discussion about games with a slow start versus fast start. Again, haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2, but if that game has a slow start, which I, by the way, have never even heard people talk about, is that even true? Then there's games that have a pretty decent start, you know, that shows you that wild things are gonna happen. And my favorite example of that is GTA 5. I mean, you literally break down a guy's home and crash into, so you know things are gonna get into, and that's kind of the hook. The point of the start of the game is to create a hook. And then there's games that absolutely botch this shit up and pretty much ruin the game for a lot of people. Fallout 4. The dead claw that you fight with fucking power armor and a minigun in the first 3 seconds of the game is fucking insane. It is insane how bad that is. For progression, for everything. That is, you literally experience the end game in the first 2 minutes of, I know it's not the first 2 minutes, blah, 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 no one cares. But you get it. It's so early in the game, it's insane. It kind of ruins the whole game for you, because after that, everything is kind of a downgrade. That is a extremely bad hook. And that is a worse hook than a game starting off slowly. In fact, most of the beloved games of the past decade or ever start off kind of slowly when you're like, life is life, a forest. This is my hometown. That's not obviously not going to burn down. No. Or bandits. No. You know, stuff like that. Clair Obscure Expedition 33 starts off extremely slowly. You just get introduced to the Gamage. And that's great. That puts you in what this world is. It's great. It pulls you in. And that's what you want. So a slow start for a game is not bad. In fact, it's probably better than a fast start.
What's really cool about Crimson Desert is that once you kind of give yourself over and you just start to wonder, I wonder what's in that waterfall. Or like right here, as you can see, when I focus, those little lights glow in the distance. Those are little points of interest or pieces of treasure that I should seek out. And if I seek them out with this, you can see certain things are really highlighted as points of focus that I should seek out. And once you learn to use these types of tools and to just explore the game for the sake of exploring it, it opens up a world that's unlike... no, I got attacked by the bush, or no, by the thorns. It's not a bush, it's a thorn bush. God damn it. Felt like I just had a stroke. That was weird. Anyway, I think once you kind of learn...
There is a bush that attacks you, by the way.
Learn how the game wants you to engage with it, you have a lot more time. And that's what I was trying to communicate and mention in like my preview coverage of the game, which was that this is a game some people will love and hate based on how they engage with games. If you need more, for lack of a better term, yellow paint or guidance, you're just flatly not going to have that much fun. Straight up. And that's okay. There's certain games I don't...
Again, all of the greatest games throughout history, except the modern day... listen, if you're a 20-year-old, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a 20-year-old and you think the peak of gaming has been Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and that's pretty much fucking it, oh man, you are missing out on so much. Again, Elden Ring is not a bad game, obviously, but people who think it's a masterpiece, that's where the problems arise, because Elden Ring and stuff like that is not a masterpiece it's not. It's just not. And people, because they think that those are the masterpieces, they fail to actually experience the true masterpieces of old-time gaming or even new-time gaming.
don't have a lot of fun with. I suck at fighting games. I'm really bad at them. It's not even that entertaining to watch. It's just bad. And that's okay. It just means that those are not my type of games. It doesn't mean those games are bad. It means I'm bad at them. You know, here's the point that was glistening, and boom, I got a fast travel point because I looked in the environment, found a point of interest, and sought it out, you know? That's how it works. But like I was saying, if you're a player that wants more guidance, this is just not the game for you. It's not designed.
I wonder how many people are intentionally refusing to use
that way. And that's one of its strengths, I think, but it's also going to, for some people, be its weakness. It's precisely because it's not designed for everybody that it excels at being for somebody like me that really likes the open-ended exploration. And that's why, you know, some people bounced off of Breath of the Wild, for example. There's some people that played it and were like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going around shrines. I don't like it. Where's the story? And that's a fine feeling to have.
The story is getting linked to cross-dressing. There you go. That's the story.
Probably just means it's not your type of game, which is cool. That's fine. It doesn't mean the game is bad, though. But I think that's what was so revealing during the review process, is that there were a lot of people where the game clearly was just not for them. They were critiquing it for not having that compelling of a narrative, for the characters not being as much in focus as they would have expected.
Yeah, again, we knew that the game is not a story-driven thing. I talked about it before the game launched. That we barely know anything about the story, which means the story is probably like very minor. And well, my prediction was, well, it wasn't a prediction, it was a joke. But the fact that it's probably gonna have a better story than most AAA modern day story games. I mean, let's be real. Is Crimson's Desert story better than Dragon Age: The Veil God? Is it? I think it is. I unironically think it is.
Constant comparisons to The Witcher 3 or Red Dead 2 and its story. And so they ended up scoring the game because it wasn't what they wanted, not based on what it actually was. And when you meet the game where it's at and you play it for what it is, you end up having a great time with it. And I think it's just, you know, the nature of the beast when it comes to reviews, is that sometimes a game is not going to be for a reviewer. And so you end up in this weird spot where certain content in the game you just don't enjoy, but it's not because the content's bad. It's just content that you don't find that engaging or interesting, you know? Oh my God, dude, look, this ain't just a pirate ship. This is a whaling ship. Do you see what's on the shore over there? With the birds circling over top?
Yes.
Dude, they went whaling. What?
Well, if you go out of bounds of the map on a boat, a giant whale does eat you. Admittedly, it's not a giant whale like this. I mean, that shit is massive.
That's cool, dude. I didn't know that was a thing over here, but there you go. See? Still learning new stuff. Oh, he's a good boy. Oh, he's a good boy. It looks like my cat Hermione. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, yes. My dog's jealous. Do you want some seafood? I got some seafood for you. Honest question. Would a cat like whale?
Yes.
I don't actually think they would. Aren't they blubbery? I don't think they would even like a whale, but here, my gift to you. My gift to you.
Can you explode the whale? That is my question.
Oh, you give it to pets. Give it to pets. Good kitty. Okay, set him down.
Also, wait a minute. The fact that they're you're telling me they're veiling, but they're not doing anything with the caught whale, that's a little bit sus.
It's yours now. Enjoy. Enjoy all the seafood you want. That's baller, dude.
Also, a whale is, I guess, technically seafood too.
That's crazy. But anyway, I think it's opened up a lot of discourse around like what makes a game good for reviewers is not necessarily what's going to make it good for the individual, you know, gamer that is looking.
Wow, we have, I mean, this is the greatest character progression I have ever seen Luke have. A game that is reviewer friendly may not be liked by the audience. I am. You know what? Let's leave it at a good note. I never expected Luke to have that much self-awareness to begin with. So let's leave it at a good note, shall we? Okay? And the reviewers cannot be trusted. Shocking, bold, completely new, never heard before concepts. It is amazing how far we got. Anyway, that was Luke Stevenson out of 10. Bye.